Title: The Brushstroke of Hope. The day felt heavy, like the weight of the entire world had settled on his shoulders. Everything seemed pointless. He'd tried so many times, tried to fix things, tried to make life feel better, but today was different. The cracks were too deep, the loneliness too loud. He found himself in the dark corner of his room, sitting on the floor, staring at the empty canvas in front of him. Tears had come first, a flood of emotion that didn't even feel like his own. His chest had tightened, and before he could stop them, the tears began to fall. He didn't bother to wipe them away. It was the kind of sorrow that was too much for words, so the tears spoke for him, each drop a silent cry for help. Minutes turned into hours, or maybe just moments. Time seemed irrelevant in that space of pain. But something happened. A quiet voice inside him whispered, "What if you could turn this into something beautiful?" The thought was a spark, fragile at first, but it grew. Slowly, he stood up and walked to his desk, his hands trembling slightly. He reached for a paintbrush, dipped it into the color blue. The first stroke was gentle, as if testing the waters. And then another, and another. He didn't know what he was painting. He just let the brush move, letting his emotions guide him instead of his mind. It felt strange, like his heart was communicating through the canvas. He painted a sky, vast and full of light. A couple, standing hand in hand, gazing up at the stars, as if they were the only two people in the world. Their faces weren't clear, but their connection was undeniable. The love between them was pure, unspoken, yet stronger than anything. And then, the story began to unfold. The woman in the painting, with eyes full of hope, was lost in a world where everyone seemed to have forgotten the value of love. She felt invisible, as if no one could see the depths of her soul. The man, equally lost in his own pain, had walked the path of loneliness for far too long. But when their eyes met one evening under the stars, everything changed. They didn't need words. There was an unspoken understanding between them, a bond that transcended the darkness of their individual worlds. As the painting began to take shape, so did the words. He wrote the story, the love story of two people who found each other at their lowest, when everything around them seemed bleak and broken. It wasn't a story of perfect love, but a story of love found in the imperfections, in the brokenness. Love that didn't shy away from the cracks, but embraced them, knowing that it was the cracks that made them whole. The man realized something as he painted, something he hadn't seen before. Sometimes, it's only in the darkest moments that we find our greatest light. The tears that had felt like an end were now a beginning. Through his sadness, he had created something that was more than just art. It was a piece of his soul, a testament to the power of vulnerability and the beauty of human connection. When he stepped back and looked at the painting, he felt a soft warmth in his chest. The weight on his shoulders hadn't vanished, but it felt bearable now. The canvas wasn't just a reminder of his pain. It was proof that even in the depths of despair, there was still room for creation, for healing, for love. He smiled, wiping away the last of his tears, not out of sadness, but with a quiet sense of peace. The journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel so alone. And somewhere, deep in the brushstrokes of that painting, he had found his way back to hope.